is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It is an Oregon football coaches show day. Marcus Harper will be joining us tonight. So will Oregon head coach Dan Lanning. Coach Lanning also met with the media after practice today as the Ducks continued to practice in preparation for a road trip to UCLA. The Ducks on Fox at 8 o'clock. I know, nothing moves the needle at kickoff times. It's been one of the main questions asked to UCLA and Oregon football coaches and student athletes this week. We'll talk about that a little bit with Coach Lanning, some things to keep an eye on. Also, Rob Moseley is going to join us. Some great news out of Oregon volleyball and a number of Oregon football post-practice interviews all on the show today. The voice of the Bruins, Josh Lewin, will be with us on the program tomorrow, and then we will actually be doing Friday's show a little bit early because we will be traveling with the Ducks down, well, the Oregon Sports Network at least will be traveling with the Ducks down to UCLA. So for those of you who watch Duck Insider, we will do the show live from 11:30 to 12:30 on Friday. If you listen on the podcast or you're tuning in on one of our Oregon Sports Network affiliate stations, same time as usual, but 11:30 to 12:30, we will physically be here in the Country Financial Studio doing the show, which will include, of course, our Seven Feathers Casino Resort picks, which, by the way, Jerry and Georgie are both down by 2. Looking forward to Friday. And no, I will not be honoring the fact that they gave themselves a free point last week. It's nice to be the one that keeps the spreadsheet. So Jerry and Georgie, if you're tuned in and you want to bring it up on the coaches show tonight, I think that all of the fans who are tuning in would agree that you can't just give yourself a point. That's not how sports works. Coach Lanning met with the media after practice today. It's always brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Coach Lanning, right off the practice field, here he is.
All right, great day of work. I thought the guys were really competitive out there today. I'm going to open it up for you guys.
What's been kind of the difference with the run game against Oregon State? What were some things maybe that clicked there? Because it seemed like a step was different.
Yeah, I mean, combination of scheme and where we were, trying to direct some of those runs, and then just, cohesion. And the more you play in the season, the better you'll get.
Talk about how valuable Jaden's also been on special teams in particular, obviously on the kickoff return, but what makes him good on kickoff coverage?
Does his job, right? Consistently does his job, shows up to work every single week, and it shows up in practice, it shows up in the game.
What do you feel like you've seen Devin Jackson improve the most so far this year?
Just continue to know where he's at, the communication on the field. I think he's really stepped up for him. He was a quiet guy when he first got here, and he's talking on the field, which makes us better as a defense.
You talked about Terrence being more of a vocal leader coming into the year. Have you seen that kind of take place throughout the start of the year?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a guy that's done his job, and when he's talking, I mean, it makes our team better. And when he does that, I mean, it makes a huge difference. So he's done a good job of that.
You've seen his
getting to the end result in the process in previous games not being standard. How has this week's process been there?
Prep's been good this week, right? And you're always going to have some issues in Tuesday, Wednesday practice, and that's what Thursday and Friday are for, so we can continue to get it cleaned up, but it's been good.
Go back to Terrence for a second. How have you seen his blocking development over the course of the last couple of seasons?
I think if you pay attention to Drew Maringer and the job he does coaching those tight ends, and then the way those tight ends buy into their job, that every single one of those guys has gotten better as they've been here, right? And those guys have developed really well in the pass game and in the blocking game. But that's somewhere Terrence has really become more of a dominant piece.
Going into during the bye, I guess you talked about the importance of maybe getting some development for some of the younger guys. I know you're not going to get into specifics, but did you feel generally some players maybe took some steps during that time and maximized it?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think they still are. You don't just develop in the bye week; you develop all season.
What comes to mind for you when you think of playing an iconic place such as the Rose Bowl?
I just think back to my previous time being there. It's a special spot, right? And the Rose Bowl is a special spot, so it's always fun to go there.
It's the first one of the opposing coaches from this offseason who made some comments about NIL and salary caps and like anything that you revisit this week, either as a staff or players for motivation for something like that.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Dylan has talked about how important his relationship with Terrence has been since getting here. What have you seen from those guys in terms of their impact both on the field and off the field as leaders?
Yeah, I mean, again, a connected team is going to be a dangerous team, right? And I think for guys to be connected on the football field, they got to be able to do it off the field.
What's Gary Bryant's status right now?
He's down right now. Working to get him back. Once he's back, we'll be able to utilize him.
What's the latest on the timeline for Iuli?
Yeah, it's same thing. Continue to evaluate every single week, and then once we can use them, we will.
Kirby was saying that obviously looking at you guys defensively may help them this week, given that you both had a bye week last week. Just curious if you had talked to him at all beyond just whatever you may show on tape against their offense.
We talk, consistently throughout the season, but yeah, certainly have had conversations with those guys. They see good stuff on film, but they do the same for us. We always share ideas and look for ways to defend people.
That's Dan Lanning, the Oregon football head coach, talking with the media after practice today. He's on the Oregon Football Coaches Show coming up tonight. Oregon football social media channels, you can tune in, and right here maybe on the Go Ducks YouTube if you're watching Duck Insider on the Go Ducks YouTube. So Oregon volleyball, we talked with Matt Ulmer yesterday, and it's a big weekend for the Ducks. Not just Oregon football that is starting out Big Ten conference play, also Duck volleyball this weekend. And really, I wanted to spend some time early in the show today to remind you all that Saturday is the Stomp Out Cancer match for Oregon volleyball. And there's also going to be a blood drive outside Matthew Knight Arena near the Duck statue from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Via Bloodworks Northwest. Why that's happening on Stomp Out Cancer match day? Because Ollie, who we're about to introduce you to, has become a dear friend, member of the Oregon volleyball family, is currently battling a specific type of cancer. And he wanted to do something, instead of donations, he wanted to do something that would really help others that are going through this and help the community, because that's the kind of kid that he is. Let's let you get to know Ollie and why we hope to see all of you stomping out cancer for Oregon volleyball and Ollie on Saturday.
Hey, Oliver. This is Brooke. I just wanted to say you're going to do great, and I can't wait to see you at one of my games in the fall, and make sure you come say hi after, okay? Go Ducks!
So the day I met Oliver, it was a funny story actually. I was walking my dog. I was going to a park, and just a park that I'd gone to all the time.
Asher was about to get on a swing and Oliver's standing there. And anyway, that was Brooke. And didn't know who she was, but she was very sweet.
Anyway, we just start talking, and she starts saying, yeah, I'll support you guys at the games, like we would love to come watch. And I think you hear that a lot as an athlete. You meet a lot of families, you meet a lot of people, and they're like, when's your next game? And you never know what that'll convert into, but I never knew it would be something incredibly special.
That's what we did. That's how it started. And then cancer happened. They confirmed he had T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma, and he should have been starting 3rd grade today. And this is the 4th year that Oliver has started school, with a hospital teacher.
Volleyball gave us a sense of community, really something to look forward to. From Oliver's perspective, his blood is probably yellow and green, and he lives for the Ducks. It's women's volleyball, and that's where his heart is.
Oh wow!
Put him on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And the fact that now he's a part of our volleyball program, and Oregon volleyball is giving back to this family that has been through so much.
Something that I hope that we all can learn from this is how we're going to support the family.
You don't want cancer to be your identity, yet there's no way of separating yourself from cancer.
U of O volleyball asks about him, and he's every bit included in this. And as a parent, and I think Vanessa and I both share this, that it's nice to see that inclusion, that it's the whole family support that we really get from U of O volleyball, and just the camaraderie and the community behind it. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. Ducks. Mm-hmm. All right. Ducks on me.
Ducks on 3.
Ducks on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ducks!
Team Ollie, you heard from his parents there, and Brooke Nunaviller. Just a fabulous connection, and what Oregon volleyball has done just for support in this tough time for that family. Really amazing. So I hope that you'll join us for an awesome Big Ten opener on Friday, and then help us stomp out cancer on Saturday for Oregon volleyball. # Team Ollie. Rob Mosley's here too. When we come back, talking with the GoDucks.com editor-in-chief on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Rob Mosley's here, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack. What's up, man?
How are you?
Phenomenal. I'm glad that you got a Diet Dew today.
Yeah.
It really
I needed it.
When Rob comes in and he goes straight for the fridge for the Diet Dew, I know it's going to be a good interview. You know, it just perks you up in the afternoon.
I need it.
Yeah.
I was at Goose last night at Cuthbert.
Man, you've been everywhere lately. Big concert.
Yeah.
Few weeks for you.
Yeah. A couple years. Basically since COVID.
I was going to say, isn't this – so is that really – I thought you were just always a concert goer.
Well, I was, and then I wasn't because the world shut down.
Right. So then you've just rekindled.
Correct.
Yeah. But really your whole life you've been.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. You reach a station in life where you can actually, like, afford to do some of these
disposable income.
Right. Yeah.
Always helpful.
Your kids are great, I'm sure.
Yes.
I am selfish and spend my money on me.
I also am selfish.
Nice.
They have a great mom. You know this,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Like they have a great mom. Bye week. What'd you do?
Well, I was supposed to. We went over this last week. I was supposed to go see Sturgill Simpson and see Goose on Sunday.
Well, see, that was my thing. I needed an update.
Scrapped because of the dog.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So
there was a discussion about anxious dogs amongst you and Chris.
Yes. So got on the river Saturday. That was nice. Yeah, went and saw.
This is your Zen.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah. So it was okay. It wasn't,
It wasn't a work week, though.
It wasn't, and it wasn't the weekend I was kind of hoping for.
That's all right.
But made the best of it.
Yeah.
The fact that you can, I can just like hop on my bike and just like go ride along the river for an afternoon, or just kind of spur of the moment, go on a kayak trip. You
nice
just
to live here.
You appreciate that, the resources we have and the fun things there are to do around here for sure.
Yeah.
When you have a little bit of time like that.
No doubt.
Yeah. I thought I would just immerse myself in football, but I didn't.
You are someone also that reads. I wondered if you had like a nice book evening.
I did. I finished a couple books over the weekend. Yeah. I went and watched my buddy Joe Waltasti's daughter play soccer.
All right.
That was fun.
Sports.
Yeah.
Sports. Yeah. Meanwhile, heading into a trip to the Rose Bowl, checking in on the football team. You and I have not talked much, at least on the air, since the Oregon State game, and it's always good to beat your rival.
No doubt.
It's always good to have some success, and well, Coach Lanning was in a pretty good mood post game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the Oregon team. It was kind of refreshing to hear him say after the Idaho game, kind of wasn't what we hoped it would look like.
Sure.
I thought it would look like.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what his wording was, but kind of saying the quiet part out loud.
Don't you like a coach that's? I mean,
100%.
For people like us.
When you can find a way, and I think just one of a zillion ways, he's just a great communicator. Obviously, the part that matters most is the way he communicates to his team, which is just phenomenal. But when you can find a way to say something like that and kind of acknowledge to your fans a certain reality while also, not being disrespectful or providing bulletin board material or kicking somebody when they're down, anything like that, I just thought he did a really good job of that. But to bring it back to the Oregon State game, I think after a couple weeks where you felt like, it didn't look like you might have hoped it would look like, as even coach acknowledged, to have one that looked like, okay, that's more like it. The question now obviously going forward is, okay, who's the real Oregon?
What's consistent?
Right. What? Yeah. If that's your peak, fine, but you don't want that to just be your peak. You want that to be, the kind of performance you put forth week to week and feel like you're improving week to week. So,
and to that point, like if I could, it's been amazing. And as similar to you, like, being around him, and we hear everything he says publicly, but even just being around, during breaks for the coaches show, which is tonight, right? Like, he is so focused on growth all the time. Like, there is always something that can get better. And, he and I even had that conversation a couple weeks ago on a coach's show. Like, hey, there's always something to improve on, right? Like, that's just how he's wired,
right,
to an extent. I think a lot of coaches are that way.
And I think we talked about this on the air that, coming out to practice the Monday after that Boise State game,
right,
and thinking it in some ways it kind of doesn't matter what it looked like the first 2 weeks.
Right.
All you got to be focused on is just getting better. And I know, for media, for fans, that can be a pretty boring, pretty monotonous to hear, and you kind of maybe roll your eyes, but it's legitimate. I mean, it really is. I mean, and it is the attitude you have to have. Yeah. Those guys have to be maniacal about finding areas for growth, improvement, whatever you want to call it, and then, trying to attack those.
It's amazing. I've thought about this a lot, I guess, but especially it's been prevalent since becoming a father, like just the consistency of communication. That's where coaches, I mean, you like, to your point, like a younger me probably would be like, okay, well, let's come up with something else to use as the quote today or whatever, right? But it is so true that consistency of communication is such a valuable tool for learning in any sense.
For sure. And, just tweaking the message a little bit help so that it doesn't become too routine, no doubt about it. But that's how you reinforce messages is through repetition. So it is a fine line. It is kind of a careful balance. And I think, probably parenting, I would imagine in some ways is like, interactions I see between coaches and players where for a coach, I think at times probably feels like, hey, we went over this. Why am I having to address this again? But that's how we learn.
Well, and, to that point, like, and this is, I think it speaks so much to like the power of coaching and how important it is and why certain things are done in the way that we're describing. I actually read a study that for the first 6 years of a child's life, particularly males, they gravitate to their mother just based on whatever, right? Like all the influencing factors because they need comfort. And then from 6 to 14, they really zero in on their dad to learn how to navigate the world. And then from 14 on, it's all about your mentors and your peers that shape you. And I think for me, like as a parent, reading that and then realizing all the coaches that I've had and teachers and then working with coaches, it is pretty eye-opening to see like, oh no, there are studies that back this up. It's amazing.
So you're stoked. So until they're 6.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just do whatever you want.
I guess.
That is awesome.
But then from 6 to 14, whoo!
Right, but
but
until then, I mean it's just science.
Again.
It was in a book that you read?
It was a study, yeah.
It's a This is documented science?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, honey, but
again,
it kind of doesn't matter.
They have a great mom.
Right. Right.
So fortunate for them.
Really will find that out from 6 to 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
6 to 14 could be, boy.
What a treat for the rest of us.
Yeah. You get to watch
to
from the peanut
that
gallery.
This will unfold.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is truly, like, I agree with you, and something you and I have talked about this before, like in our positions, it's so much about what is said and narrative and all these things. But at the end of the day, storytelling sometimes is only as good as what is said in practice, for example. And that's just the way that you have to communicate.
Yeah. And, how often do people in seats like ours, somebody's like, oh, great story that you did. And it's like, well, the material was great. I just got out of the way, I let the story kind of tell itself.
Yeah, you've heard me say this before. I'm a professional regurgitator.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
And coaches look great when their team's playing well, and they probably feel the same way. Yeah, did I push some good buttons? But, it helped. I had better players a lot of times.
Exactly.
Things like that. So there's a yin and yang to all of it.
My favorite phrase, the broadcaster sounds good when the team is good.
No doubt. No doubt.
The reporter, great stories when the team's good.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Comment section's good. Tweets are good.
Totally.
Yeah. What do you expect? 8 o'clock kickoff, UCLA. What do you expect in this one?
I mean, it's always fun to be in that venue.
It is.
We'll probably be there in time to see one of those sunsets of which poems have been written.
Jerry has verbalized said poems once or twice.
It's, a long day, but, it is what it is. You make the best of it. But yeah, I just think this is kind of a show me game for the Ducks because of some of that uncertainty about. I think there's a lot of folks that want to say, oh, okay, the Oregon State performance is who we thought Oregon was going to be.
Right.
That validated some assumptions from the preseason, offseason, whatever. So that's who the Ducks are because that's what we thought they were going to be, and that's what they looked like in their last game. Totally understandable. But those first 2 weeks, you are what you put on film, as they say,
That's right.
And what was put on film those first 2 weeks was not nearly as consistent, efficient, clean as anybody really would have liked.
Yeah.
So you got to prove that you're that team by doing, as you said earlier, you got to prove that that's who you are by doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
And so here's the next chance to do that. And, you had a bye week to, get a little fresher perhaps, but also, it seemed like you just sharpened the sword. So, could you keep it from dulling it all over that break?
Yeah.
That's something else I think we'll be looking for as well.
Good metaphor.
Hey, thanks, bro.
That was good. I love a good metaphor.
All that reading of the books, the book learning.
Yeah. How many books have you read in your life?
Oh, geez. Many hundreds.
Is this like
hundreds.
This is like asking the starting quarterback who's done how many interviews? Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished over the weekend James, kind of the retelling of Huckleberry Finn from Jim's perspective.
Yep,
really good, really eye-opening, enlightening. Yeah, that was really good stuff.
Yeah. I know you might be the biggest, besides my wife, you might be the biggest reader I know. She goes through them quick.
Yeah. I'm not a particularly fast reader. But yeah, I just try to set it. I'm reading this really weird history of the Manson murders. That's something I've been kind of fascinated by since I was young. I read Helter Skelter, the history of the Manson murders, when I was like in junior high or something. So I've read a few books about it, and I'm reading this one that really gets into some like conspiracy theories and stuff. It's a little much.
Keeps you intrigued, though. Yeah. So you've read a lot of books.
A lot, yeah. And there's a lot of people who, or I don't know a lot, but I know of people who, once they get into a book, if they're not digging it, they'll just put it down. And I'm like a completionist.
You're
like I have to finish it.
I'm
even if I'm miserable the whole time.
Yeah, I know what happens.
And it takes forever.
Yeah.
Even if I've kind of figured out where it's going. It's like I still gotta like.
I'm with you.
Cruise through.
No, I'm a completionist also. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so Big Ten football begins. Also, Big Ten volleyball. I was just discussing all the amazing things that Oregon Volleyball is doing this weekend.
Yeah.
Week of welcome. Students are going to be back. You and I talked about this once before. Like, I'm going to have some FOMO, to be honest with you,
Yeah, no doubt.
for Oregon Volleyball this weekend, just with the way the schedule fell.
No doubt, and it's they're just really fun to watch right now.
They are. 8 straight.
Yeah, they're playing at a high level. Seem to have gotten some things figured out in terms of lineup and rotation and things like that. They're defensively, I think they feel really good about their block. They feel better about kind of court coverage and passing out of the back row. You got a bunch of offensive weapons. You got a setter now, who's starting to get her feet under her a little bit and really operate that offense with efficiency and take advantage of all the different weapons. So, they're worth the price of admission right now. That's for sure.
They really are. And then, of course, just off the court, they have been such a great community-oriented program and continuing to do that with what we were talking about earlier with Ollie and Stomping Out Cancer.
Yeah, no doubt.
Every time we have a Stomp Out Cancer event, it's not lost on me, just how big of a deal that is to even just keep it on the schedule as a community awareness point.
No doubt. And you talk to people from time to time who, the different uniforms that like football has worn and things like that, and some of the retail items, people who aren't really associated with Oregon otherwise even gravitate toward that gear because it's so meaningful, to them to see that public display of support for folks who have fought cancers themselves or their families, what have you. So, we've talked before about how fractured kind of society feels at times, culture feels at times, particularly these days, our political system, all that. It seems like there's less and less that kind of brings people together. Sports at its best can still be that. Yeah. And in particular, a promotion movement like that really is the best example of something like that.
No, you're right on. All right. So to come full circle on bye week, I have to tell you, I thought of you on our trip. So we did a family driving trip. One of my wife's best friends from forever. They've known each other forever. Got married. Thank you.
She's not that old.
Thank you for scheduling during a bye week.
Yeah,
we do appreciate that. So you are a well-known cereal connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
I will put it that way.
Breakfast cereal.
Yes.
Okay.
So at said hotel where we stayed at Midway had the cereal bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I thought of you in the moment where my son is now old enough to realize that a cereal bar is cool.
Yeah.
And I need to know your top 3 cereals that I should, maybe they're your favorites, and maybe if this is the same list, I should keep my son away from.
Yeah. We could go on a while. I always start with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay. All right. Classic choice, by the way.
Yeah, and Cocoa Pebbles are not a bad option as well.
Yeah.
I was always a big Lucky Charms guy.
Yeah.
Captain Crunch, I'm a fan.
Shreds the mouth, but so good.
It does, but it's worth it.
Yep.
No, I don't need the berries.
So that was 3 right
I
there.
don't need
You
the
did
peanut
it.
butter. Just regular old Captain Crunch. Yeah.
Yep.
Frosted Flakes is like an old classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. Cheerios?
What? No.
Not enough sugar for you?
Yeah, come on, bro.
My son loves Cheerios.
Yeah. I mean, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Great choice.
That was sort of like the line my mom was willing to go up to.
Honey
growing
Nut Cheerios.
Up.
Yeah.
Like a kind of a sugar cereal, almost. Not really. Certainly not Fruity Pebbles.
It's healthy.
But yeah, a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah. So Reese's Puffs.
Not a fan.
They had Reese's Puffs and
in the hotel?
Yes.
Interesting.
So it wasn't just I think the lineup, if I remember right, they had 8.
Oh, okay.
And it was Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran, Cheerios, and one of them being Reese's Puffs. I was like, that's a pull.
Yeah, usually it's granola.
Right.
Raisin
Which
Bran.
he also loves. He eats granola all the time.
And then Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Anyway, the travels of people like us that are on the road a lot with teams. I know that you get excited, I'm sure, about a good cereal bar.
100%.
This place had a great cereal bar, and I thought, I got to ask Rob about this. Yeah. So thank you for being here.
100%.
Yeah. He's Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. As always, please be nice in the tweets.
That's whatever.
But you're in a better mood when the tweets are nice.
That's because we won.
Exactly. the broadcaster, the writer.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
100%.
Yeah. On Twitter, at DuckFootball, at GoDucks GoDucks.com, where you see his byline. Tons of other things. What did I miss today? Anything exciting? What are you working on?
Well, I just figured you were going to gas me up a little bit for writing about some of the hardworking students involved in broadcasting.
They're here. They're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, you're only as good as the material.
That's right.
And that Student U program.
That is the truth.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
And it was a privilege to be able to provide a little bit of promotion for those guys.
Cool stuff.
They do great work.
Probably like you, I got a bunch of alumni that I've worked with that were like, hey, this is cool, just to even see it. Truthfully, and I mean this sincerely, just to see it, publicized in that way. Like, it's one thing that on campus we say, hey, please come work with us, be part of our program, but to see it, I think, for the general fan to see, it's awesome. Yeah. It's great. Totally. Students are what make it all work.
Yeah. We do work at a university after all.
That's right.
So
isn't it nice to remember that?
It is.
It is. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But to know that all of us, and I think you mentioned you might be doing some coursework, but like all of us to some extent or another are involved in educating.
Right.
And I do love that my U of O ID says faculty on it.
So does mine, yeah.
Because we can go anywhere and be like, yeah, I actually teach astronomy. I'm a high-level physicist.
Yeah.
We can fake it that way.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You could teach music theory.
Yeah. That wasn't my strong suit, but I had to pass some theory to get my music minor. Music theory is tricky.
You could teach something in the concert audio
something,
realm.
Yeah. How to have a good time at a show.
Right. That's a PhD that Rob's got.
And everybody gets an A.
Yeah.
Because if you're at a show, you're having a good time.
That's right.
But no, again, I am much less involved in the educating than most people on this campus. But all of us, to some extent, when you have an opportunity to help mold and shape and mentor, it's good to do.
I've said this to you off the air, and I don't know that I've said it on the air, but when they asked me to come teach in the SOJC a couple years ago, I was like, oh boy, this is not good.
Yeah.
And truthfully, it's been one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever done.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, GoDucks.com. Rob wrote a piece about some of the behind the scenes and the Student U program and how things have shifted a little bit. Because admittedly, and I've talked about this a lot on the show, like things have shifted in the new conference with how media is delivered to you, the fan. And so if there's ever more questions about that, let me know. Comment section, please. We'll always answer them. But the program itself is so student focused. And truthfully, it has been here at Oregon all along, but now it's sort of a conference-wide initiative that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And again, just as I mentioned that story, I think that pride in the quality of the program and the productions, going back many years has been there. But there's also this acknowledgement that, with the investment that the Big Ten is making, with the exposure that, the conference and its network can provide, it is a different level now. So two things can be true at the same time.
That's right. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. When we come back, Dylan Gabriel, Duck quarterback. Going to hear from him on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Better guess than me.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember, back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son? I left my heart in home.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. Duck quarterback Dillon Gabriel met with the media this week. Talked about a number of different things. Let's hear a bit from a guy who's going to be quarterbacking the Ducks again. And, man, it's been nice to watch him really settle in, I think, with the culture of this team. And he talked a bit about that, actually, here as he met with the media yesterday, quarterback Dillon Gabriel.
You've been the topic of conversation even during practice nationally.
Really?
A lot of conversation out of Norman about how things went down. Brent addressed it, said that when you met with him, that was when he first learned you were thinking about coming back, and said you wanted to get closer to home, and ended it by saying that nobody ran anybody off. And there's a lot of conjecture down there about how things went down. What's your version of history? Did you ever feel like, even with Levy leaving, that you could have returned there?
Honestly, it's so far gone. I just know God's got me right where I need to be, and I got a smile on my face every day because I'm in Eugene, Oregon, around a bunch of great guys. But you know, of course, those are guys that are my brothers for life and guys I've played with. So, you know, like I said, it's people I still talk to on the team, like players-wise, but. You know, you focus on what you can control, and that's right where I'm at. And like I said, I'm happy. I know God put me right where I need to be, and I think that's all that needs to be said, honestly.
Where did you guys grow most during the bye week?
I'd just say more time together and a lot of competition. You know, a lot of good on good, and I think naturally, you know, when you create those competitive environments, you get better from it. And I just like to say I love the way guys compete in a bye week, and yeah, I thought we got better, you know, all around.
Is it hard at all to carry that momentum forward after a bye? I mean, you guys finally have the offensive day you want against Oregon State, then a bye week. Is that hard to carry that momentum into this week, or how's that work for you guys?
Not necessarily. I think you just got to emphasize it. You know, obviously a bye week can be utilized in a great way if you let it do that. But we just focus on keep getting better, and you know, more time to prepare, more time to get better with one another, and then more guys to get reps. So I think, like I said, looking at the bye week, it was good for us.
What stands out about UCLA when you watch them on film?
Yeah, super athletic. I think they're a team that plays really hard, and I think a bunch of guys that are extremely talented. So we'll have our hands full, and these are guys that, you know, have just played a lot of ball. So
What have you seen from their linebacker, Medrano, 20 specifically, just how he's been disruptive so far this season?
Yeah, I think he's just athletic and an athlete in general. You know, not afraid to get in the run game or, you know, be super, I don't know if people say that, but elusive in the pass game. You know, for a linebacker, I think he just can move very well. So, yeah, super impressed with, I mean, honestly, a lot of their players, just size, length, speed, and then also, you know, just what they do.
Special teams have been a major factor for you guys this year. As the leader of the offense, how does that kind of spur you on and encourage you when you see that unit go out there and do what they're doing this year?
Yeah, just a lot of emphasis on it. You know, I feel that as a, you know, guy who's not necessarily like included in special teams, but just feel the emphasis of it and you know, the time and effort we put into it. And I think it does take, you know, everyone, you know, coming together and making it, you know, a part of the game that we can, you know, create explosives or, you know, change the field position. So I think they've done an outstanding job, and it's something that we emphasize, so I'm not necessarily surprised.
Terrence Canada is on pace to challenge for some records for a single season at tight end.
Yep.
What's made him just such a valuable weapon for you in this offense?
Yeah, I'd say knowledge, and that's not a knock on his physical, attributes at all. I just think, when you combine knowledge with what you're able to do physically, I think that's truly the difference. And he's a guy who's played a bunch of ball, but also a trustworthy target. And I think you see that with a lot of our guys, just with the experience they have. They've seen a lot of looks, so that helps them, it helps me, and it helps everyone. So, for Ferg, obviously I think the world of him. He's my neighbor, he's my best friend. We spend a lot of time together. But more importantly, I just see the way he works, and when you see that, you respect it, and that's a guy you want to go to war with. So I'm excited for him, and I know that there's a long way to go. So he's going to keep competing.
Dan was talking about during the bye week, one of the things we wanted to see the O-line work on was Poncho snaps and just the consistency of both accuracy to you, probably the speed of it a little bit.
Yep.
How's that coming along now that it looks like he's going to be at center?
Yeah, good. I think Poncho's, I think naturally it's just a different transition, when you go guard to center or, anyone, having to touch the ball every single play. As someone who does it, I realize that, things happen, but, the consistency has been there, and we got ultimate trust in him. So, I think he's continuing to get better every day and get more comfortable with, his spot.
The Oregon State game was kind of a breakthrough in the run game. What did you kind of see a line there to allow everything kind of work there?
Just seeing the five work together, but then you see, guys, working on the second level, on the perimeter, creating blocks as well to, maybe extend runs. But I just think you see everyone coming together, and I think the run game's a lot of emphasis. It's a lot of mentality, and then technique, so you combine all that. And I'm realizing too, that's probably about everything, but with the run game in particular, I just think the five are coming together, and everyone's just putting at the forefront of what we do. So, naturally you'll get results on what you emphasize.
That's Dylan Gabriel, the Oregon quarterback, meeting with the media this week. Timeout on Duck Insider, coming back to the Country Financial studio, hearing from Keon Ware-Hudson in just a moment. Also, we got Noah Whittington, Devin Jackson, Jaden Lamar, Terrence Ferguson, and Oregon Soccer. They met with the media today. Quick timeout, back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear summer vacay, load up on fun in a new Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner, haul it all in the Tundra, play hard in the Tacoma, or take the scenic route in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear summer vacay, load up on fun in a new Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner, haul it all in the Tundra, play hard in the Tacoma, or take the scenic route in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. So good to see you real.
Ducks at UCLA, 8 o'clock on Saturday in the Rose Bowl. Now, for a lot of Oregon's roster, that's a little bit of a homecoming. Get a chance to play in front of some family. One of them is a veteran in Keon Ware-Hudson, who also will be on our pregame show, which starts at 6 o'clock. Pregame show always starts 2 hours before every kickoff. Keon Ware-Hudson, a veteran, gets a chance to play in front of some family. Pretty cool, really, for a guy on the defensive front in Keon Ware-Hudson. He talked with the media yesterday.
You and your brother played same city, same day. What's that going to be like for your family?
No, it's crazy. They was waiting the whole week to see like what time the game starts between both of ours. So I guess their plan is to go to his game first and drive over to mine after. So, get to watch both of their sons play.
I mean, do you come back home for the last time to play ball?
It means a lot. Just always going home, playing in front of family and everything is always a good thing. So I'm glad to see them after the game and everything.
Is it weird to call this a Big Ten game?
Yeah, it definitely is weird. It's like any other Pac-12 game, but new league. So same team we're playing. Run emphasis, we pass a lot more, but it's definitely weird calling it like a Big Ten game.
Have you been paying attention more to Big Ten teams, Big Ten games? Have you been just kind of following along with than you have in the past?
Yeah, most definitely. Just watching our next opponents ahead of us. So, just getting a feel on what they do primarily, and try to prepare steps ahead. So.
There's been a lot of build-up to this moment. Finally, the start of the Big Ten season. It's official this week. Just what would it mean for this team to come out on a good foot and set a good standard for what Oregon football can mean to the Big Ten?
It means a lot. We're going into a new era, new conference and everything. They usually look down on the new guys, but we don't really call ourselves like the newbies and everything. So, we try to go into any conference we go in and, give us a show, show them what Oregon football is about, our tradition and everything. So,
where did you guys grow as a defense in the bye week?
I think just mentally, watching film, finding little details. We all had personal growth. So, we try to work on that throughout the whole week. Just little things, tightening up, little screws. So,
what's different about this UCLA offense from previous years?
Yeah. I feel like they're more pass heavy. Usually they're running, have a good solid O-line to run behind. They use their running back a lot with the screens and everything. So, we got to work on our cage. Our cage wasn't good against Oregon State, so, we got to implement that this weekend.
What's it going to be like facing several former teammates there? It's a little bit unusual where you got not too many teams where you have 5 former teammates.
No, it's different. Definitely, like you was just saying. You got B.A. and Mo, all of them. It's crazy playing against them since you was playing with each other for a minute. Like Jalen Davies went to high school with them, so it's gonna be cool, exciting at the same time. But we got to go there and work. So.
I thought that was a great perspective, though, from Keon Ware-Hudson about the cage. And Devin Jackson actually talked about that a little bit today. We probably won't get to Devin today, might on tomorrow's show. But the cage, when you talk about the contained, right, and how important that is for a defense. I like that the Ducks said that. I mean, and here's the ultimate example of you win a game, you feel really good about it. They're identifying things to get better at, right? Identifying a lot of things to get better at. Overall, I really feel like the Duck defense came into the year with so much potential and has gotten better and better. And to me, Oregon secondary is a great example of you can supplement with the transfer portal. And then the front is a great example of that as well, because you also have guys like Keon Ware-Hudson that have just been there for a while. A guy like Dante Manning, who spent his career at Oregon. I just am more and more reminded as the season's gone on the way that the transfer portal can really supplement everything that goes on over the course of an offseason and then heading into a season in this new era of college football. Noah Whittington, Ducks got the run game going as we transitioned to offense against Oregon State. And Noah Whittington was, and still is, on quite the journey of recovery after a pretty big-time injury, and now playing a lot of downs for the Ducks. Noah met with the media on Tuesday.
It's been a heavy emphasis on special teams since Dan Lanning got here. But what's been different about this team in particular that you guys have found a lot of success in that area?
Daily skill is something we do at the beginning of practice every day. And I feel like just putting those reps in every day, it adds up So
That counted as a kick return touchdown, right? To your total preseason, you said you get 3 or 4.
for as a team, yeah. For me personally, no, but I don't really care about me. I just want to win.
What was the conversation afterwards about finishing the play there, I guess?
Get a ball to the referee. Make it easy. Make it simple.
Ted said last week that if he had to choose between like a long touchdown pass or catch and a punt return, he would choose a punt return. What about you for a kick return versus a long touchdown run?
I'll go kick return.
What?
Kick return. Because it's not common. You know? It rarely happens sometimes. So I just feel like, and that was my first time ever doing it, like ever. So
Never even in high school?
I had one in high school, but it didn't count. It got called back.
It's like the run game has taken a step forward against Oregon State. What kind of all came together for not just you, but for the offense in general to have such a good day around?
I would say meeting with the O-line more, having more like meetings together and like seeing the same things. I know we put an emphasis on in the running back room, running with more pace instead of just getting the ball, trying to just go, like being patient, letting the block set up and hitting the hole.
How do you feel like that offensive line has kind of settled in? Obviously, been a lot of moving parts. It seems like in Corvallis, at least, there was some continuity with the same fives. Do you feel like that was a benefit?
Yeah, I feel like no matter who's in the game in our O-line room, they have such a brother, like relationship. It just takes time, and I feel like no matter who we rotate in on the O-line, they're going to get the job done regardless.
Is it weird to think that this game against UCLA is the start of a Big Ten season? How do you guys, has like that really hit yet, or do you just feel like you're just playing another Pac-12 opponent? From your perspective, how does it feel?
I don't know if we look at it as like in that way. I think we just look at it as that's just who we playing. Cause honestly, we play Oregon.
Yeah. And that game is a late game.
Yeah.
Do you like late games? Coach said it gives you guys more time to prepare.
Yeah.
But I would feel like I'd just be waiting for the game to happen. How do you feel?
Early, midday, late. I'm just happy to play football, so it don't matter to me. Yeah.
The yards before contact almost doubled in that Oregon State game compared to where it had been in that first 2 weeks. Do you feel that when you're out there that the offensive line is creating bigger holes for you to be able to hit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. They're doing a great job. Great job.
Noah Whittington, Oregon running back, talking with the media. Ducks did get the run game going, and look, Jaden Lamar said it today. When you get the run game going early, it starts to snowball a little bit. That's a significant piece to success for any football team. When we come back, looking around the Oregon Athletic Department, the schedule for the week, also previewing the coaches show, and what are we going to do the next 2 days on Duck Insider? Come on back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Tonight at 7 o'clock across the Oregon Sports Network, on the Go Ducks YouTube, on the Oregon Football social media channels. You can watch the Oregon Football Coaches Show. Really looking forward to having Marcus Harper join us tonight, Oregon offensive line. Talk about where the Ducks have clicked on the O-line the last couple weeks. And of course, Coach Dan Lanning will join us before that UCLA kickoff coming up. Taking a look at your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill, the schedule for the week. Oregon soccer is at home against Indiana. The Ducks will be playing at 7 o'clock on Thursday against Indiana. Also, Oregon cross country will be in action in Madison this weekend. We'll have some updates on GoDucks.com for you. Then I've been talking about Oregon volleyball earlier today. They'll play Illinois to open the Big Ten Conference slate Friday at 7:30. The Ducks will also have their Stomp Out Cancer match that we alluded to earlier with Oregon taking on an Indiana team with really festivities all around Matthew Knight Arena all day long. I should also mention, too, that Oregon women's tennis gets things rolling in Fort Collins this weekend. The Ducks, of course, beginning the fall slate right before classes start here at the University of Oregon on Monday. Oregon men's tennis not far behind them, with both Oregon golf teams also in action next week. God, it's amazing how fast the golf season comes in the fall, little break in the winter, and then full go with the championship season in the spring. The Oregon women's soccer team will also host Purdue at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Ducks get a Thursday-Sunday weekend in Big Ten play for Graham Abel's squad. That's your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Menus, everything you need, cafeyum.com. That's right, Coach's Show tonight. Dan Lanning, Marcus Harper. Marcus Harper could just host the show. I could just get out of the way and let him host the show. Maybe we will. Big Mark, we'll see. See you tonight.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son Ricky took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to